Audio is definitely on. Okay, we're good.
Okay, so we'll start the meeting at 6:01 PM. And we do have a quorum
Of three,
of
right?
three.
Yeah, three is a
Three
quorum.
in the alternate, so. And we don't have minutes, so we don't need to approve any minutes.
That can be deferred to the January meeting.
Okay. And then we have a 2026 meeting calendar to approve. I looked at it this afternoon and looks okay to me. Anybody have any questions or concerns?
In my opinion, the only one that may be worth speculating on was the July one. That's Thursday is the second. It looks like the day after is when they would take the day for the fourth. Um, so I tend to think that if it happens beforehand, it's not the same. Like usually, like if it were the day after, there'd be a bigger risk that like the office would be
There would
closed or
be
people would be
problems.
taking the day off. I personally thought the second would be okay. We could always move it the next week if you guys are out of town or prefer or whatever.
Yeah. I guess we can think about that when we get a little closer to that
Yeah, we
date.
can always move to do.
Okay,
I
so
don't see any problems.
it's pretty straightforward for now, every first Thursday of every month.
Mhm.
I still haven't.
Okay, so do we have,
I make a
I'll make a
motion to
motion.
accept the calendar. I'll second it.
a second, all in favor?
Aye.
It's adopted.
All right.
Okay, let's see, so matters carried over, goals and objectives, exercise is the first item for business. I just passed out to everybody, excuse me for my voice, losing my voice for some reason. Um, goals and objectives, you might recall that last month we, worked through this and we had pulled all our goals out of the mission and vision statement and then put some objectives to each one of those goals to further clarify the duties that we're going to be undertaking in the coming months. And I polished the objectives a little bit. Nothing has changed there. However, we do need to take a few minutes to discuss a couple of new objectives. After speaking to Norma, she asked me to add the four last objectives on page 2. First one being the Sears Capwell Perez archaeological site. And then there's relocate the Arkwright Bridge, relocate and restore the Interlochen Bridge, and then preserve the train station behind the Arkwright Mill. And it's part of the Riverwalk. So these are big projects. And they're definitely worthy. It's been talked about for, I guess, for years, way before my time. So what I did after talking to Norma is I went online and got some information because I don't know how much everybody knows about these historic sites. So I found an article online from some sort of local online news agency that interviewed Norma back in 2021. And this has just got all the history of the bridge that we need to know about for now. Norma made a lot of good quotes in here. And this has been on her heart for a long time, getting these things started before it's too late, if it's not already. So the bottom line is that it was added, the Arkwright Bridge was added to the National Register of Historic Places in 1978. It's 120 feet, 28 feet long. It's a Phoenix column bridge. I don't know what that quite means, but it connects Coventry to Cranston. Last of its kind in Rhode Island, so that would be something that we would use as evidence of the need. And let's see, so then you could read the rest on your free time. There's a lot of good things in here, and Norma has some really good feelings about how to go about it in this article. she mentioned that, but it's not specifically a historical society. This is when she was, and she still is, but she was representing the Coventry Historical Society with this interview. It has to be a community project. And it's not specifically a Coventry project. It's for anyone who wants to see history preserved. So I think what she's talking about there is to making it a wider effort. So this is going to require us to embark on some sort of publicity campaign for the bridge. And maybe it's a CLG opportunity.
Who owns these things?
Is
Well,
it
Good question.
is it a state bridge?
I think it's both Coventry and Cranston have an interest in it because I think maybe they both own part of it. One owns one part. So without cooperation from the other, there's
That's not gonna happen.
Okay.
yeah, I think so. You could check me on that, but
Let's just say-
Right.
I remember
check.
that.
According to part of this, she said something about the schedule to be replaced in the coming years by the State Department of Transportation. So
Oh.
that makes me wonder if the State Department of Transportation has a finger in this pie as well.
Mhm, mhm.
Let me just, I don't know, this is more about, this is specifically roads instead of just bridges, but
Yeah. Doesn't really.
let's. So this would be the bridge. So it could be a town-owned bridge. These
Oh.
main streets a state
It's
road.
not even in Kent County. The bridge is in Providence County.
I don't
Oh,
see
is
if
that-
they've got satellite layer. No,
Coventry doesn't go into
think-
Providence County, does it?
No,
No, but Cranston does.
Cranston does. So, but
Cranston
if
is
that's where
Providence.
the bridge is, that's
I think that was
not
I
even
think that-
Coventry's.
Yeah, I think that was part of the issue. I think it was both, and Cranston was not interested in doing anything and spending any money on it, if I remember correctly.
but if it's not even in Coventry, I don't know.
let's
I
try to
think part of it
confirm.
was, but
Just looking at that map, I
Yeah.
don't know, but whether that map's true to, I don't know.
Let's see.
Oh, there we go. So a
Now,
jog.
see there, okay.
That's an
Jog there.
interesting jog in the
It really
town
is.
line, isn't it?
It really is.
Looks like somebody had a motive for that little.
It's like,
stay along the water there. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah.
Well, make
looks like
half
a
of it.
kind of Minnesota,
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
well,
northwest
make
angle.
half of it Coventry, so.
well,
yeah.
we'll just preserve our side then.
No,
No, well, so this,
bridges work that way.
so
Yeah.
these are the kind of things
Yep.
we'll have to understand as we
Yeah.
go along. So I think the first thing we'll have, and this, we don't need to discuss it all right now.
No.
This is just a
It's an
basic
idea.
intro. But I'm thinking that we'll have to, the first thing would be some kind of feasibility study and see how we could plug it into a CLG grant. So, okay, so that's the Arkwright Bridge. There's also the Interlocking Bridge. And that's on the third page of this. Lifted this from the internet. And it's a pretty interesting thing too. So like Lenticular Pony Truss Bridge built in 1885 by the Interlocking Corporation. And trusses were manufactured by the Berlin Iron Bridge Company in Berlin, Connecticut. Single span, 92 feet long, 19 feet wide, resting on stone abutments. This was also placed on the register in 1978. It's the only known lenticular pony truss bridge in Rhode Island. So we've got a couple of important structures here that deserve some effort. I don't know where that will go, but we will have it as an objective if everybody approves of that. And then we'll have to have some action items sometime in the near future to kind of flesh out where to start with
Mhm.
all of that. So that's all I had for this. I don't know if we'll need to go through all of the goals and objectives again, because everybody looked at them last week. Maybe if everybody could just take a minute to kind of briefly read through them and see if there's any further input. And if not, it's still a work in progress, so I don't think we'll need to approve of, vote on anything with the goals and objectives today. We're still working on it, so.
I would say we're definitely beyond the 50% mark for sure with
Yeah.
it.
Oh, yeah,
So-
definitely. Yeah, wonder if that's, any of our cars.
Was there an event happening in the gymnasium?
Yeah, I hear noise on there. Might not go through the cinder block. I don't think it was a
Still going?
Volkswagen though. I don't think it was. Yeah, so eventually when we get this all organized and approved, it'll end up going into our, what do we call this thing? The plan, the preservation plan that I'm starting
Mhm.
on now. I'm going to be working on the preservation plan by using, other examples from other municipalities. And, also use the state guidance on building the preservation plan, but this will be a big part of it. Up near the front is all our goals and objectives, just like the state did theirs.
Mhm.
They had goals, objectives, and I feel they call it like action items.
Yeah.
But
Right.
all the different steps to get to the objective, then the objective gets us to the goal.
Mhm.
So,
And that's a
And at some
traditional
point you
format
get
that the
further
state
down, yeah,
knows.
so at some point you get further down, it's who is responsible and when
Yeah.
it's supposed to be done by.
yeah,
So, yeah.
and that will end up going into,
I just
this.
have one question about this. We don't have anything on this that talks about what we're doing with the surveys that were done. The.
Well, the village.
One from back
The
in like,
village,
yeah,
yeah.
70.
oh, well, we're still waiting for the state to review it and then give us some
But I mean,
new guidance on what we need to
Some of
do.
that be in here as to.
We could make maybe even a more generalized one, like pursue the surveying of historic villages and places in the town for National Register assessment. You know, if you think that they're like green, if there are ones in the future that you think you might like to pursue, that could be an example of a task
If
that
we-
comes up again in the
We were
future.
going to pursue that, depending on what the state says, for at least one of the villages that maybe should be.
Mhm.
I would hate to
Yeah.
say we spent all that money and now we're not gonna do anything with it, it's just gonna sit.
So what are you saying? Are you saying that we should list it as another objective
I
on
think
here,
so.
complete the survey?
I think that it needs to be worded in such a way that we can, follow whatever the state recommendations are for the surveys that were completed and then evaluate.
It's just the one survey though, right?
Right, well, yeah.
I think
One.
I think you could leave it as, because most of these are like, I'm trying to explain like the level of detail that they are, like
You just.
digitized historic photos. Like, we don't that you could do it for different projects or papers or exhibits or things like that.
Right.
I think it would be fine to say, um, like, pursue surveying work for historic resources in Coventry, for the purpose of National Register nomination assessments, you know, something like that. Maybe we could refine the very last of
Right.
it. But something like that, I think, covers completing ones that have already been started and then pursuing new ones.
Should they
when-
become available.
Yeah,
to
and as we
funds.
notice and like want to take on new ones like green,
I think.
Oh, yeah,
needs
green.
To go in
because those are at least two classes, and then there could, in theory, be the third class of like individual structures. Swallow some dust. I'm gonna grab a drink.
there. I don't know, we don't need to get too far down into the weeds, because these are pretty generalized. I do think, since we have it halfway started, we probably do need to include it on.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Halfway started, you talking about green?
No, I mean, we did
Harris
what
and
Harris, and we did Arkwright, but that's just a piece of that. So once you do the surveys, then you gotta decide, what are you gonna do with that survey information?
Well,
So there's
it's
a-
supposed to go to the application for,
Right, but at some point it needs to be listed as an activity that's ongoing.
Yeah. mm-hmm.
It just needs to be part of it. I hate to say we spent, how much we spent, $10,000 or whatever. Just to say, no, we're not doing that anymore.
No, we're definitely gonna keep moving on that until the state just go away.
Let's give ourselves credit for it and put it on.
Let's see, I'm looking to see if we had. I mean, we determined this.
Might have been
I'll just make a
interesting.
note for now and then I'll work it
Yeah.
in there.
What's my bad thing? Use it for me.
Okay, work in the Harrison Arkwright survey completion. Add green. The next time I'll bring the past timeline back with a mention of the surveys. So we won't put it into the goals just yet,
Till we get it fleshed
till
out.
till we know exactly. Okay, got it. Is there anything else in the way we've written the various objectives that you think need to be added to or clarified? So if not, I guess the next step.
The only other thing that I can think of, just looking at, like organized lecture series on historical topics, perhaps in support of RA 250, is I don't even know that it's going to result in really adding. They may be more specific than we want to carry, like as these types of objectives, but I could resend the list of ideas that we had so far, at least the ones that I remember came through with Maria.
Right.
And maybe just, it'd be good to just look at it. And in case there's like one or two things on there that you say, this is unique enough that it could get its own mention, then you'll have that full information. You can make that choice. I don't know that it will end up adding to it, but I'll be sure to forward it to
Yeah.
you.
Okay, one thing, I'm glad you mentioned that one, about a lecture series. Because it's kind of an idea that I'm toying with, and everyone's talked about it in the past too. Tomorrow night, I'm going to the library for a presentation on the lace mills in Coventry. So it's not that I really care a lot about the lace mills in Coventry, but I want to see how they organize the presentation. What kind of resources they bring, printed materials, is it a subject matter expert, all that sort of thing, and make some contacts, and then maybe use that partially as a model for what we can build. I would like to be in front of the public on a regular basis and present interesting information. I don't know how well it'll be received. Maybe no one will show up. I don't know.
It's a very popular talk. The Paint House did it 6 weeks ago or so.
Did what?
And the Lace Mills
Oh,
talk, and it's
Oh,
very
okay,
popular.
that specific
The
one.
man who does it his name is Doug Dwyer, and he spends a lot of time in the archives back room of the town hall. He is always sticking his nose into research. He has buckets of information on it. The library, and I wish you'd have gone to the meeting with the other historical societies and Maria, because that was one of the topics that came up, was these ongoing presentation things, to try to work together as a group to facilitate putting them out there.
Yeah.
Presentations are relatively simple.
Mhm.
You find a location, and if it's on a weekday night, you can do it in the chambers, and if it's not, if it's on a weekend, we can rent the rec center.
Mhm.
You find whoever your topic person is, and there's a million of them out there. Levi's willing to come do Edgar Allan Poe again, and I've got somebody else standing in the wings that wants to do historical homeopathic medicines. There's all kinds of people out there that are willing to talk on historical topics. And then you just use your social media accounts, that's what we always done, to just blast it out
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
That's another conversation, is one, and I'll talk about that later, but to use your social media. But I think the easiest way to do it for us, for the time being, is to go ahead and work in partnership with what the library is doing and what the other historical societies are doing as they're working together to kind of share the workload, if you will, to put these on. And there's not a lot involved in it. You just have to have the location, the electronics, the person speaking, and refreshments and publicity.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it.
For me, the most interesting part is finding the subject matter, because I want to
Pick
like
what you
dig.
want to do.
I know, but I want to develop or dig into cultural history as well. the lace mill thing, the buildings, all that stuff is absolutely critically important. But I want to dig into the weeds a little bit more, like, when did the Polish folks come here and what the work was like and what did they eat and where did they live,
Probably somebody out there that has
Yeah.
done that work, but.
or the Italians,
Yeah.
or,
Mhm.
another big thing that's on me right now that I'm thinking about is we have all of this study on the mills and the urban centers of Coventry. But what about the farmers? What about all the farms that used to exist near my house with a cemetery every 4 blocks? There's just tons of stories there.
Yep.
And, I don't know how we would even find that information. I mean, it's going to require research and a subject matter expert.
Doug does a lot of his research with
Who's
land deeds.
Doug
Dwyer. Yeah, he does a lot of research with land deeds. So he'll go back and he'll see who sold what to who when.
Mhm.
To me, that's mind numbing. I can't even conceive of it, but some people really like
Yeah, like
delving into
Maria.
those records
Mhm.
and trying to read that little teeny tiny handwritten in pencil writing that they
Yeah.
did, which is fine. I all credit to folks who can do that. So I mean, if you want to find the best place to do it is just to talk to people, to go to some of these
I was
events
gonna
and
say,
talk to people.
Yeah.
What are you?
Well, Doug is the guy that's gonna be there tomorrow night,
Yeah.
right? I wanna
Mhm.
mention that to him. So as an example, I
He
was
knows
with
a lot of
Maria
that stuff.
in the vault
Mhm.
one day. And I came across a handwritten record. I might have mentioned this already. This man was being admitted to the poor farm, but by then it was
The
already
asylum.
an asylum, the asylum.
Place where they put people so they could steal their property, yeah.
Yeah. So it was a list of everything he owned. He had
Mhm.
turnovers, everything on his farm in order to pay for his time at the asylum. And it listed everything like 2 pigs, 4 horses, 20 bales of hay, and that's like a picture of a
Mhm.
farm in
Mhm.
1890 or whatever it was,
Mhm.
And so there's just a lot of stuff there that was the backbone of this place way before they started building the giant factories.
I have a list of Payne House of Herbert Payne when he passed, of what he left to his sister.
Mhm.
Every little item,
Yeah,
it is so detailed. And
that
then
tells quite a
it-
story.
and
right there.
everything's given a value and it's all tallied
Mhm,
up at the
mhm.
end. It's amazing how detailed they were.
Yeah,
And ledgers of what farmers bought, what merchants bought on a monthly basis. And how much they paid for it. I have
mhm,
certificates from how much funerals cost.
yeah. And then there's the whole milk industry that
Yeah.
they loaded the milk
True.
on the trains right
Mhm.
here and took them
Yeah.
to Connecticut and Providence.
So
And
there's probably a topic in there. The question is, how do you narrow it down to what you want to talk about?
yeah,
And I think there's value too in, especially if you're just, beginning it, eventually we will have a website that we can put the primary materials, scans of them up
Mhm.
for people to see.
Absolutely.
We could always crank out little articles about them, even just, simple descriptions of what does this say and how, what topics does this intersect with. You never know if there could be a time where you get in touch with like a professor or a teacher in a history program at some school, whether it's college level or high
You
school.
put it out there,
And,
someone will
yeah,
pop up and
you
say
know,
something. and
There
you
may
just
be
have
a
to pay
student
attention.
at some point looking for a topic, and you just get the right year. The professor says you probably would like this thing. I know that there are these couple of resources on this website. That's a place to start. And then they end up chasing it. You never know how you could reach these people, but it's, you know,
well, how would you reach them? How would you reach the students? I mean,
I think you make relationships with the teachers first,
Mhm.
to the extent that we can find any that just online by looking at what they've written in the past. If they have any, they focus on, rural life in other parts of Rhode Island, anything like that, topics that might be vaguely related.
Mill workers in
Yeah,
1800s or
genealogy,
whatever, genealogy.
like for example, like if ultimately you ever wanted to have a talk about certain the experience of a certain immigrant group that came to Coventry during a period of time. I mean, maybe a way to get that.
Of Chester Harbor right down the street. Go sit there and
Yeah.
talk to their senior citizens.
or
They
you know
have
what?
stories Our Lady of Czestochowa, it's a,
That-
Czestochowa, it's a Polish church.
Oh,
You never know, I know,
Go-
you never know it's pronounced Czestochowa by looking at it,
that's the
but.
whole.
Go talk to the seniors at their senior days.
Mhm.
They have all
Or the-
kinds of
There's the,
stories.
there's the Polish Alliance, the
Polish
Polish
Alliance,
club
yep.
right up there.
There's so many resources. People, I mean, we just have to reach out to them and say. And most of these things are done by word of mouth and by networking.
What about
Finding
Facebook
people.
with our Facebook page?
You can, I'm still not on it.
You're not on it yet?
Can't figure out how to send me an invitation.
Weren't we going to like,
I talked to Corey, he was gonna try to find out, because Corey, he needs to have access to that because he has to archive all that stuff.
yeah,
That's all public
Mhm.
record stuff. So he was like, so I don't know, Norma's not here today, but I was gonna
Hmm,
see if she would get in touch with Corey and see if he could help her solve that little issue.
Cody.
with Cody, call him Corey, sorry, Cody. See if he can help her solve that issue and then get him on it too, because he really needs to be on it, because he's responsible for maintaining records in case somebody asks a public records request.
mhm.
No, I think anyone will, but
But still, yeah.
that's his area of responsibilities.
Mhm.
I think it would be a really good place to start is to
Where do you put?
put
that?
out requests on Facebook, like, we're working on this project, does anybody have any information? 'Cause I did that with, the, Saint Germain store. And for like weeks and weeks, people were putting on these really long posts about their experiences. We used to eat ice cream in there and then go jump in the water in the back of the store, or,
Which is great,
yeah,
but remember and I've had this conversation with Doug several times. When people start talking about, well, and in this date and at this time, and then this happened, and then this happened. Make sure you have some way to prove that.
oh, yeah, yeah.
Because a lot of what we've come up with has been hearsay or family
Yeah.
stories. or
Fuzzy memory.
Fuzzy memories,
Yeah, it's
exactly.
just for the leads,
It's
it's just for the
for the
leads.
leads.
Yes.
For the human interest stories,
Yep.
it's great.
Yeah.
There's not a problem. But, it was built in or it was owned by or
Mhm.
whatever. You really need to
Mhm.
track those.
See, because I already done the research.
Verify the.
Yeah.
big stuff.
Yeah.
That's been verified.
I had done all the research on Saint Germain's as far as when it was a
There's a
store,
purpose.
company store, all of that.
There you go.
So the personal stories just kind of fleshed it out for me.
Go ahead. When you got all the data you need, put together a presentation.
Yeah. Could you give it though?
You're the.
No, I could do that. I did that for a living for a while,
Maureen did a
speaking
great
from
one on
this.
cemeteries.
Yeah.
She was, her was wonderful.
She could be our first one.
She and Peggy Malcolm did a great thing on cemeteries.
Yeah.
You can be
I thought that was
careful
really
enough
interesting.
and you go into it and you look at it. If you wanna put a presentation together, I'm telling you.
This is just a sidebar, I was watching a program and there's this big fad right now to put, when someone passes away, they put their favorite recipe on their gravestone. Have you ever seen
I
that?
have not come across.
I have pictures, I took a couple pictures.
of it. I have not seen it in real
Yeah.
life, but I've seen pictures
I'll
of it.
shoot you the picture.
mean,
I took pictures of my
Okay.
TV
Can you
screen.
imagine how much that would cost?
Yeah, the guy over there chiseling one
That'd be-
letter at a time.
Yeah,
Like
it
engraving
better be
on
a
it.
short recipe, how to make chocolate milk, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
What I've seen is they have gravestones now that have QR codes engraved on them.
Yeah,
And you can
Oh,
put
yes.
on, and it takes
Yeah.
like a slideshow.
Wow.
of
yes,
person's
I've heard
life.
that. Yes, I've
Oh.
heard of those. I haven't seen any, but I've heard of
Yeah.
those, yeah.
So,
But I just thought it was really interesting.
can be
People
done.
actually go to the cemeteries to see the recipes and then they go home and make the recipe and they think
wow.
about the person that.
I know that it's probably like $10 a letter or something. I mean, it's outrageously expensive.
Mhm.
Wow.
I can just
And so
imagine
it's just the rich people's
What?
recipes.
that recipe would cost. Oh, my gosh.
But I just thought it was such a cool idea. Okay,
Anyway, okay.
so we spoke about our goals and objectives. We're gonna add these big projects, the Sears Capwell Perez Archaeological Site, whatever that is.
That's that little place where the Charles Capwell building got torn down. The
Uh-huh.
little square of, I don't know.
It's
if
not
it-
Oh.
far from the Family Dollar.
That was the,
Oh, that was the Charles Capwell.
right, that was the Reed,
that was
the Reed, Byron Reed.
Reed.
Oh,
building.
yeah, yeah.
So where's Charles Capwell?
They are,
I think there's a,
I think-
there's a little side street on the other side of the road, I think not too far from the area you're referring to off of, is it Washington?
Yeah, it's
at
Washington.
That point,
It's like,
little side street,
it's in here, I'm pretty sure.
something like that, yeah.
Where am I? I'm trying to get my bearings here.
The Anthony Mills right here.
This
Okay.
is something that.
I'm pretty sure
Laura
it's
mentioned in
in
the
here.
article. Says a decade ago, the two made several attempts to save the Byron Reed building on Washington Street, but to no avail.
Old Town Hall is
Last
down.
month awarded a contract.
Gonna be
for
slow, but it's down this way.
$101,000 to
Okay, so we're
demolish it.
further
Yeah.
down, okay.
Yeah,
Makes sense.
Old Town Hall's like over there.
Takes
Yeah.
me a while to get my bearings.
Do you think there's a street called Capwell? Right over there, I think
Hmm.
there's a little side street. I'm not sure.
This thing's gonna, we can try, but,
There's no, I have trouble getting a signal in here too. I got nothing.
well, the thing that's a shame is this is, this is tethered in too, so
Okay,
maybe it's Ave. Yeah,
so what's supposed to be there, like the remnants of the stone wall? or
Yeah, I'm not
something?
familiar with, I don't know the details of that, that caught my eye, because I.
Yeah, so it's this area. Yep.
Is that the building right there that was knocked down? Or is that just something
No,
else?
well, that's not the Byron Reed building,
Oh, that's right.
yeah.
Okay, so there's
Well,
Capwell.
Byron Reed was further down this way, I think. But this was the Capwell, Searles Capwell Mill area somewhere in here, because it's like when you zoom way in, there are various remaining dams, some
I'm not
foundations
even
and things.
I'm not familiar with the, like, I've never driven down there and looked at it, I've only looked at it on the map.
Doesn't
Norma,
look
I
like
think, is
anything in
hiked through there.
there. So what do they want to
Who
run down
owns-
there with a metal detector and look for?
Yeah, well, I don't know. Norma would know best. I
Yeah,
just,
we'll get more details from her.
Is any of those properties over there owned by the town, or like, are any of those accessible to the public?
yeah, so like this one's owned by the town. I think there was something about, I don't know if the land trust truly, like, I think the land trust doesn't own anything on its own. It always says Town of Coventry.
Yeah, right.
But I don't know whether this is like a land trust property or if the trails are informal.
Yeah, I'm just wondering what the public, if there's a public right of way to get
There's
to
a
that
road
block.
right there. Where's the road? Oh, there we go.
This leads back, so this might be landlocked.
Oh,
Could be. No, down here.
There's a,
Yeah.
whatever that is, yeah.
Yeah, right of way.
Way.
So then this is probably how, to the extent anyone goes out there,
Okay.
that's probably how they get
So
through.
there's a little road, is that like a little circle or a little
That's what it looks
circular?
like.
This is
Capwell.
Capwell, yeah.
Okay.
Capwell Avenue, yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Makes
I guess
sense.
it makes a loop.
And do we think that's where this historic site is located on that?
I'm pretty
map?
sure, that's what she's referring to.
Oh.
We'll have to ask when she's.
Yeah, yeah.
Why is it called an archaeological site? Is there like,
They might have found like
Native
older,
American
yeah,
stuff?
it would probably be like
I think
pre,
remnants of
yeah.
a stone wall or something in there that, who knows?
They could have found arrowheads or who knows what, but usually it's like that vintage, I think, once they start
Mhm.
calling it archaeological site.
either that or dinosaurs?
Yeah.
Okay,
Coventrysaurus, put us on the map for real.
There's money to be made there.
okay, so I guess the next step would be to, at the next meeting, get some more information from Norma
Hmm.
on these. And then finalize the
Yeah.
goals and objectives.
Mhm.
Okay,
The next item is a holdover one that from last time that, again, Norma's the person to speak to it, I think. She had asked me once to put on Reed School's status of repairs. She just wanted to talk about which ones have been done, I think. So we could, again, just have it carried for next month when she's in and able to join.
yeah, we probably.
Do we know if
should-
any of that's been done?
I think a few of them have. I don't know whether she has newer information, like if she talked to DPW more recently than I have. So, but I remember, yeah, a few months ago, they had told me which ones they'd done. The simpler stuff, of course.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I haven't seen any new fencing or anything, so.
I'm looking at the tasks right now to see.
The log, they probably fixed the log.
Mhm.
Yeah, they did, they did the door. But the fence repair, that's a thorn in our side.
That just needs to be replaced. I don't think it's repairable. I think there's too much rot on it. You
Mm.
can't screw into rotted wood.
Mm.
Not the whole fence though, there are some places, major sections will have to be replaced, but some of it is still okay.
You know, the gate is not part of it.
Yeah, the gate's a mess.
Okay, fine.
That's the only thing I see, let's see,
Next folder.
repair the fence. I have a separate list somewhere of all the different things.
Do you have that, do you have that list at all? The list of the to-do list?
I don't have it
Oh.
handy.
No.
If you wanna look at it?
No,
Just
I-
send him one?
I think I do have, did we have that at last meeting?
Yeah,
I do have a copy of it, I just don't have it on me.
You should probably take a few minutes to update that too and see what's been done and what's still pending.
yeah, let's see. I don't know which copy is which now. This is the most recent one. If you'd like, I can update this and bring it to the next meeting one more time.
Okay.
May not hurt. I think
Yeah.
the only thing
Good
would
idea
be,
to see what to do.
there were certain things that Paul still intended to do as like a, friend of the HPC. So there could be certain tasks where like,
You'll probably see him.
yeah, he
coming.
technically would still be, I guess. It's up to you if you wanted to literally like keep his name on there, but it could be understood de facto, like he would still probably be the lead. Just from the outside.
Yeah, okay. Let's see, I think I had to read Schoolhouse. Not popping, oh, here it is. Yeah, so I have a list here, I'll, figure out a way to get it to everybody, but, interior lighting, landscape cleanup, threshold is loose. I think they fixed that when I can't, but I can't say for sure, I know that they fixed the door striker plate.
Mhm.
Gate repair, deadbolt receiver, that's what they did, the deadbolt receiver. Take rusty folding chairs, I think they took those out.
I just need to go trash.
Yeah, front signage, front floodlight coming loose. They turned the chairs around.
Oh, did they?
Mhm.
Oh, yay.
And fence repair, so. Okay. Yeah, so what I'll do is I'll, go through these and see if they're in here. I think they should all be in here. If they're not, then I need to come on the task list. And we'll talk about it next time. All
Doesn't-
Considering we're inside the building,
Yeah.
it sounds pretty.
I get all those heavy helicopters from the National Guard going over my house.
That's right.
Yep.
Look at those. Listen to 'em.
I go through periods of forgetting the base is even there and then
Yeah.
remembering when I see, the guys in uniform down at Dave's. I say, oh, that's right, it's out
Yeah.
there. So,
They have those big transport planes too that come over.
man. Yeah.
Don't know
Okay,
what that was,
Rest assured the cinder blocks will keep us secure,
you know.
what?
at least through to the end of the meeting. That's all I can guarantee.
Okay.
For CLG grant updates, so I did the best I could. So we are at the 0.0001 yard line. All the final everything is written. The reimbursement's been received by the town. I typed it all in. I hit submit and it gives me an error message with attitude about how, oh, you're saying that you didn't get any money back. And of course I did not. So I talked to the state and they said this is probably because we switched the portal a few months ago. It used to be called eCivis, and now the platform is Una. And so they put in a support ticket, but they said they usually don't get back to us within 24 hours. So Doug will probably be the one. At least it's all written. It should hopefully be.
Submitted, it's just,
Well, they wouldn't let me submit,
They
but I'm
wouldn't let
saying
you
I saved the draft, so it will be a matter of hitting submit. It's just they have to talk to the people who run the platform and say,
how do you do this?
stop making it reject. So basically, we are that close to officially closing out the, like the official grant stuff, but the town has its reimbursement in hand already. So all except for hitting that last button, we're done with it.
And
So.
Doug has that file.
Yeah, Doug is the one. He was added today as a new person on this grant project account. So he should be able to go in and press the button when I have it fixed up.
So I think I'm still connected, right?
Mhm.
I haven't been in there in a while, but you said it's changed to another vendor.
Yeah. The platform, at least, it seems to be different. Yeah.
So,
I think it's the platform. I don't think they just rebranded because they were saying that there was stuff like that was coming up when they made the switch, which to me implies a different one. So in any case, that I would note that's pretty much set. And then the annual report also came up in early November. And so that's not due until sometime this month, usually like the end of the month. And I've got that thing fully drafted. I was going to have Norma sign it if she was able to join us today. So Norma needs to sign it, and the current council president needs to sign it. And then that can be scanned and emailed. Again, that's something that one of the guys here can take care of. So it's another example of it's all the work has been done. I just can't submit it right now.
so town staff are up to speed on what they need to do.
Yeah. And it's very, because I got it to that point, it's straightforward. It's just for the annual report. When you see those two signatures, email it to Donna. And then for the other one, when you are told by Donna that the error message is cleared, click submit. And so it should hopefully be smooth sailing. It's difficult to imagine how much easier it could be made at this point. But I don't say that as any, knock on wood, that proves to be true.
Yeah. Because I'm prepared to pick up the slack as far as communicating with the state
Yep.
on any other pickups with the grant if anything comes up.
Mhm.
Plus also any recommendations they have for us to go back into those villages and
Mhm.
complete those surveys.
And they know, like I had said in one of my later emails to them today, just, that our HPC stands ready as soon as, you guys are ready to say which elements are next, to be taken care of, like they're more than willing to be able to help, and they know that. Yeah, I think they had to do a little bit of final stuff with the Bristol one that our same consultant was doing, and then they're ready, hopefully after that, to turn back to Coventry. So, you know, at least we are, I think, in a pretty good spot for the moment. In terms of the things that could really come back and bite us if we didn't do it, they're basically ready to go. It's just a matter, I would have done it today if there weren't these last minute hiccups. But all the work, the thinking in it has been done. The the next adventure of what sorts of work still remains to be done for Arkwright and Harris, that part is to be sketched out.
Mhm.
So
I'd really like to meet with
Kind of
Donna or whoever would be
Sarah,
giving
yeah.
us the new.
It probably wouldn't hurt to reach out to him and just say, just wondering when you guys think.
Would it be Donna?
I think it could be either of them. If it's not Donna, she'll just copy Sarah on it.
Yeah, that's right, Sarah. So, I'll wait a little while though, so I don't get in Doug's way with
Mhm.
getting the thing submitted. So maybe like beginning of January, I'll
Yeah.
contact
Yeah.
them and say, hey, we're ready to pick up the ball and run with it again. Can you guys come out and talk to us a little bit about,
next
what
steps.
you need us to do? And
And it could also be, I mean, this is, even though we don't use Zoom like public facing, we just use it as a fancy way
Yeah,
to
we could do
record
it
our
that way.
meetings. It is still Zoom. So I mean, if they ever, I don't know how often they're around if at this time of night or what, but in theory, that could be an option, doing some kind of special
Right
scheduled
up
Zoom
here in
calls.
January, we just
Yeah,
do a Zoom
well,
call.
it's another way. If that gets them quicker, it's another way to do it.
Yeah.
special meetings, I suppose, are a thing. So anyway, you'll have your options. So that's what I've got for those updates.
The driving map, I met with. Not Corey,
Cody.
Cody. It's a mental block, I swear to God. And we talked about, and I don't know if, I don't think we went to it here, but I was talking to Cody about the, what Block Island does with their map. I
Hmm.
don't know if you've ever seen it or not, but you can go to Block Island Tourism or whatever. I don't know if it'll let you do that. And he was looking at me, he was going, oh, that's cool. So can we do that? And,
Is it Tourism
it's a
Council?
map. Yeah, I don't know if it was the Tourism Council, I can't remember who it was that one. Okay, so.
You recognize it
I
on
think
any of those?
Maybe that it's time to
The
tour.
red dots, yeah. And so if you clicked, I don't know if that's working or not. Things to do, so yeah,
There
if
you
you
go.
clicked on the map.
Oh, look, and you got the links to see information about each one.
But the little numbers would, that I have to find the right spots. The
Please
little
make sure.
numbers
Pins.
would give you a drop down box, so the little
Oh.
number would expand, it would give you a drop down box,
Mm.
tell you where it was, what the address was, what it was, why it was there.
Mm.
And it would map it out for you, mapped out wasn't a bike tour when he was a walking tour, but
Mm.
and so he was going to contact whoever did the website and
Hmm.
see how they did that and see if that was something that we could do with the, we just have to come up with the terminology. We already have all the GPS coordinates. And make that a QR code or something in the handheld piece of paper that people could click on their phone and it would bring it up on their phone and they could just, whatever thing they wanted to see, it would map it out. for
That
them.
sounds pretty good to me.
So
Mhm, yeah,
he had no problem at all with anything we wanted to do on the website as far as pictures or stories or, obviously we're not gonna just do a photo dump on him, but, and
why not?
Let's make it something usable.
Hmm.
He says he has places to archive, so if we want to archive photos, we can do that, but it's not in the website. And so we can give him like jump drives full of photos if we want for safekeeping,
Mhm.
and he will keep them, but it's not on the website. It's separate. So, and then
Can you make it so the website will connect to that archive?
I think you
Probably
have
not,
to
has to
put
behind the
those
firewall or something.
on the website, yeah, so that people, but what that allows us to do is to do rotating photo displays, so it's not up there all the time.
I still envision a time when people or citizens can click on it and, see all kinds of pictures, just.
And that's the plan. The plan is to, probably don't have it up there, but, taking the photos that Paul has given me and dividing them down into categories. So I have mills, I have.
Main Street.
Main Street,
Mhm.
I have railroad stations, and then for each of those, there's going to be thumbnails.
Mhm.
And then you can click on that thumbnail and it will take you to a page or further
Yeah.
down the page, however Cody wants to set it up. And it will give you a little bit of information about whatever picture it is you're looking at. Some of them I have information on, some of them people are gonna have to help me fill out because of data.
So we're talking about information for 1,000 photos or something, all right? I mean,
To
just a
start
big
with,
picture.
no, because
Yeah, that's thought out.
there's a lot of photos that don't have any identification on them.
Mhm.
It's just a random
Mhm.
picture of somebody on a horse standing in the
Maybe
middle
we
of the
should-
street somewhere.
I keep thinking that we need to do something to just get the website launched and presentable. And then adjust it as we go along, but to just get something done. So you could pick like 25 photos.
Well,
You could write up 25 photos.
got probably 20 already.
Yeah, something
I
manageable.
mean, what we have, the known spots in town, there's some writing that has to be finished with that. The railroad stations, I haven't really touched the mills yet.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of them.
But we don't have to
In the
like take the
Main
whole
Street.
thing at once. We
No,
can
no.
take a good
We just
representative
need to
sample.
get
something we
enough
can
up there to make it
manage.
interesting for people
Yeah.
to click through.
Mhm.
And then, that's just a question of
Mhm.
sitting down. I told him, I asked him how he wanted me to do it and he was fine with PowerPoint. He would take that. And what I'll do is just put it all on a jump drive and give it to him and say, here you go. Make it. So that, I mean, we should be able to get that up and running by the first of the year.
Mhm.
Okay,
Shouldn't be
good.
that hard.
Pretty good.
Yeah,
Okay.
definitely. That'd be a big
And
milestone
writing.
for us. You can do a lot with that. We can do all our marketing on that. and-
There's some blank spots that need to be filled in. Some of it I connected back to the state, like for meetings and stuff. There's a section in there about our meetings and they can click on that and it takes them to that site so they can look and see, when it's
Yeah.
developed. He's a little, he said, and I don't know what format, because I gave him the banner and the stuff that's already on the website. And he's like, well, every commission, apparently the ones that have websites, which is not many, has their own thing. I said, going for make everything sort of match.
Was he yay or nay with that? Was that like a good thing?
No, he
The
was,
banner?
he was fine.
was happy with
He
that?
was happy with it,
Okay,
yeah.
good.
He didn't realize we'd put as much thought into it as
Yeah.
we have. I guess everybody
Yeah.
else just does lists.
Yeah, that's a pretty good sign
Mhm.
then.
So he didn't seem to see any problem. The only thing what he needed to check on was the map. He didn't know if they could do that. He wasn't sure how they did it.
Mhm.
So he was gonna contact the webmaster for Block Island, whatever it was, and see how they did it.
Good, so that's forward progress.
Yep.
Yeah.
One
Cool.
step
And that'll be a
at
big one when it's up, yeah.
Mhm. That'll be the basis for all of our contact with the public.
Well, you use your website, you feed people in through your social media, because
Mhm.
people don't
Yeah.
generally cruise websites anymore, they
Mhm.
cruise social
In our
media.
presentations and in our
True.
display cases, we can
And
have.
There's
those
always
displayed.
room for word of mouth
Well,
still
and
to
you do a
stay.
QR
and
code for your
networking.
website or your Facebook page or whatever, and then you use that for whatever bits and pieces go out.
Mhm.
If you're doing display cases, somewhere on the top of that display case, is a giant QR code of your website.
Speaking of display cases, I don't think Paul ever got that glass replaced, did he?
I don't think so.
So where was he gonna take?
I thought it was the lighting that was supposed to get replaced.
Well, I know the glass needed to be replaced because it's like people leaning on it over the
Mm.
decades. It's all scratched on the top.
Mm.
But the lights were. I don't remember. There was talk about the lights. I don't know if it was that they just needed to be reattached.
Normally,
They
no.
did?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's like a light bar inside
Yeah.
of it.
Almost.
So,
Nowadays with LED lights, you can buy a light strip for,
yeah,
stick it up there and it's probably just as easy.
like an under counter light.
Mhm. Mhm. Plus it doesn't get hot. Those light bars, they got hot.
Mm.
Mm.
That's probably from the 1960s.
We need to make a plan to
Really.
start putting stuff in those.
What are you gonna put in them?
I don't know, we just go in the
The fall,
refrigerator here.
yeah,
Oh, we'll call it the vault.
yeah.
Yeah, we put everything from a room into the walk-in refrigerator in the old cafeteria.
Seems good.
And everything fit in there nice,
That's
it's
what we had
really
to
organized.
from.
We'll have to take you back there sometime, take a walk.
Yeah,
But it's just a matter of a couple of us getting together on a Saturday morning, go in there, just grab some stuff and haul it out here. I mean, have it make sense a little bit, but
Pick a theme.
not too much thought to it, but just like get some stuff in there, combination of pictures
Mhm.
and artifacts.
A theme.
And there's 3 cabinets, right? 2 here,
Yeah.
1 over on that side.
Mhm.
So
I do that. It's the story of my life.
what, making the displays?
It's,
Good.
no,
Yeah.
somebody else's job.
I think it'll be fun. I like doing the one we did over at the community center.
Oh, that one, yeah.
Yeah, that was fun. All the hanging pictures. We need to go and check on that again pretty soon. Okay,
Um,
That's where we stand on.
For the
good job.
250th anniversary things, I know that I had said I will send out, just as a reminder, I think you guys had it like months ago, but I'll resend a scan of that memo sheet that had a nice typed out list of what we had thought of by that point in time. Just so it's in front of you, just so you got it.
Mhm.
And as always, if anybody's got ideas, it's still good to put them down on paper. But we are, of course, moving pretty close to 2026, so a time is coming where
4 weeks.
Yeah.
Seems so distant.
I know.
before, and it's like-
if there are ones that you want to do in particular, I mean, it's probably getting to the point where, yeah, you can say, all right, why don't we start off with these, whatever it is, 2, 3, and then come up with a
Isn't
plan.
Maria taking the lead on that though? I mean, we would,
It's-
if we had an idea, we'd have to take it to Maria and then Maria would help flesh it out and.
It could be, you could, at least running it by her certainly doesn't hurt, but who knows, maybe she'll say, like, if you guys wanted to run with it,
Yeah.
fine by me. Or maybe she'll say, oh, this is just like, or this reminds me of somebody else wanted to do something similar, let me connect you. She would probably at least be able to give like a good,
Mhm.
So there
Later.
is another meeting of the ad hoc historical people meeting that Marie is on as well on February 2nd. At 5 o'clock in the evening over at the fire alarm building. That, again, that's generally what they talk about is how everybody can get together and do something for the 250th. There's also a meeting,
Hang on, so it's, what do we call them? The historic cohort?
I don't think it has an official name. I just call it a group meeting
And
on
it's
my
gonna be-
calendar
Where?
at the fire alarm building on Station Street and Main Street. The
Former building.
former, the absolute disaster area. And then, on December 9th, which is next Tuesday at 1 o'clock. I know one of the things that came up during one of the meetings with the group was an elementary or a school art contest
Hmm.
with a historical theme for the 250th. There's a meeting about the art contest itself on, what did I just say,
December 9th.
December 9th at 1 o'clock in the library.
Oh, I have that in here, library discussion, art history.
You know,
Okay.
so just to let you know what's going on and keep everybody in the loop. Y'all
That'd be good to go to. I want to go out in the
attend.
dark to go to it. It's really dark near my house. I don't see a street light until I hit 117.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So
You
anyway,
know, huh?
So if any, I mean, there's been a lot of, maybe we should do this and maybe we should do that and maybe we should, a parade, or I don't know.
Mm.
It's so hard. I don't know that the town has anything specific in mind, so I think generally they're doing things, they're tagging the historic piece along with the stuff that they're already normally.
Who's the leader of this group?
There is no. there
Oh, that's the problem, and that's why we're not. getting
Mostly
anywhere.
the library stuff, Jessica has been like the coordinator, maybe not leader, but coordinator of dates and times and places. Which is fine. It helps to keep everybody on track.
Mhm.
If you're
But
gonna execute though, you really have to have like a leader that says, here's what we're gonna do.
it's by committee. People will say, yeah, that's a good idea, or no, I really can't do that, and then someone will be responsible for taking on whatever role it is they choose to take on.
Mm.
So example, like if Payne House wanted to execute an event or an activity,
Right.
they're free to do as long as somebody doesn't say we're doing the same thing or.
Individual societies are gonna do what individual
exactly,
societies do.
and
There's
then-
no control on them. I mean, you
Right.
can't say, no, you can't do that, 'cause
Right.
we're gonna do, that doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
But it's nice to know what each of the groups already has planned for their year, so that number one, you don't step on anybody else's
Right.
toes, but number two, when you plan things that are different
Right,
or that are specifically
Right.
geared towards.
and not on the
whatever.
same date, not on the same week.
Usually not on the same date, that would help. I know there's been some talk about the cemetery group doing the Revolutionary War
Mm,
program,
The flags.
the
yeah.
flag thing,
Yeah.
yes,
What flag
which
thing?
is great.
It's the cemetery group.
The cemetery, I don't know,
Are you
you
the
guys work
cemetery group?
under Patuxent
The-
Valley? Is that,
Yeah, I don't know if they're discussing that under Patuxent Valley or with the state commission. I
Okay, so-
don't know, with Peggy advising
Right,
or
right.
whatever. Maybe Patuxent Valley Historical Cemetery Group, yeah.
Hmm.
because I told Bob, there's no, because one of the things I wanted to do is make sure all of the Revolutionary War gravestones had flower holders or flag
Flag
holders,
holders.
flag holders, because some of them don't.
Right,
And, they were trying to count up how many they would probably need and what would be the cost. And it's like, Payne House can help you if you need to write a grant or you need to, because with the 501c3, they can do that. And we are perfectly willing to help you,
Yeah.
you know, we'll be a part of that. And so that's where we're starting to see groups co-participate in things. And so you just have to figure out what projects you want to be part of and what you're willing to do to help with that project. So if we do decide, if the group decides an art project is the way they want to go, in my brain, I'm thinking, okay, art teachers have to be contacted each school. It's not that many schools in Coventry, it shouldn't be that hard. Rules have to be set up. Where they're gonna be donated, where they're gonna be brought to, how they're gonna be
Right,
displayed,
right.
who's gonna be the judges. And so everybody can take a piece of that and say, well, I'll find judges, or I'll figure out a way to get them displayed, or, you know, we're gonna need this much money to make this happen. I'll go out and fundraise and hit up local businesses for money for display, whatever.
So that's all going on like, next Tuesday at 1
We'll talk
o'clock.
about that and to see if anybody wants to pursue that. Personally, that was one of my favorite ideas, but you know, I can't do it myself. Other people would have to participate. And I will put on 2 hats, and I did not talk to, once I get more detail, I'll take, you guys will know what it is, and I'll take all the rest of that back to Payne House and see what they want.
And, you know, we have so many historic societies floating around in Coventry and the Patuxent Valley.
We have to
If you-
do, basically.
Yeah.
And,
Yes,
well,
we
but there's
have
this
to.
group now too, where all these people are coming from.
It's not a
Maria,
society, though.
and-
That's just a work group.
Yeah,
They don't have a separate entity. They don't have
where did they come from?
bookkeeping. They're pulling from Payne House, Nathaniel Green, the Historical Preservation Commission, and Coventry government is where they're pulling from right now. So
It seems to me like there should be more coordination, collaboration, because there's a lot of power in all of these different organizations. If everybody's just working towards the same thing, economies of scale, you know.
yeah, if once they decide on a thing to do, whatever that thing is, if it is an individual thing or if it's just supporting what, you know, everybody else is doing with a little bit of input, I think individual groups are gonna do what individual groups do. So, you know, Nathaniel Green is gonna do Nathaniel Green stuff,
Mhm.
and they may participate in something else. Cemetery group, which is not a 501c3, it's not, that's just an ad hoc group of people with except for the state, who has their own group.
Yeah, and
Okay.
actually technically the cemetery group is like under the umbrella of Patuxent Valley.
Right.
So
There's
they do have
sort of
access to, yeah, and it's kind of like they're divided between Coventry and West
in West
Warwick.
Warwick. Texas Valley is actually in both places, so it's kind
Exactly,
of
so they're
nebulous.
kind of,
But they don't, the cemetery group doesn't get to raise funds on their own. I mean, they can, but it's not tax exempt. So,
well, it's under the
but
umbrella.
if they do it under Patuxent Valley, then
Right,
yes,
exactly,
the money
exactly.
goes to Patuxent Valley. Patuxent Valley says, I choose to fund this project.
Exactly.
Kind of hurting
Yeah.
the whole. It's hard.
Mm.
Because again, trying to get money donated to do this stuff is, you have to have that 501c3, and otherwise it's not tax exempt for businesses or individuals. But again, when you go after grants and you go after money for stuff like this, you can't just say, we want some money for the 250th. That's not good enough.
Mhm.
They want to know, what are you gonna do with it? How's it gonna be administered? Who's gonna write the checks? They want to know all of that, which, okay, fine, I get it. Not everything is available to governments, as you know. But a lot of times businesses will donate, they don't care if it's to a particular project, small, not big corporate, not the Home Depots and the Walmarts and those people, but the corporate, the mom and pop operations, a lot of times they don't care about the 501c3. They want to see it as a community project. And it's, you know, $50 here, $100 there. I mean, how much do you make art display boards? I don't know. I think Norman could probably build us something that was reasonably sturdy. And if it's something the Preservation Commission wants to get in on and the town wants to get in on, maybe the town can help build that stuff. I mean, it's 2x4 frames and a piece of pegboard and a bunch of hooks. And you hang kids' artwork on it, you know, easily visible place.
Hmm.
Like town hall would be good,
Mm-hmm.
just a thought. Anyway, so that's what all the meetings are about. And try to figure out what we as the Preservation Commission either want to do on our own or want to do as part of a group or want to collaborate with. It's a question of this is what everybody's talking about. Where do you see us fitting in? So you can,
Mhm.
another airplane.
Helicopter.
Don't need to know too much information.
It'll be interesting to hear back then in the next meeting, I guess, what the outcome of that discussion on the 9th is. And hopefully, yes, some of this stuff starts to come a little clearer into focus. I would hope that, yeah, maybe by the February meeting, people walk out of it with at least a couple events that like everybody agrees, like,
Right.
we're gonna do these,
We're gonna
Yeah.
do
you know.
And who's doing what?
Who's
Yep.
doing what?
So, because at that,
Again, it's money.
yeah. Some of these things will take, depending on what they are, a couple of months to put together, but you start in February, you give it a couple of months. It puts you pretty close to July
Mhm.
2026. What do you know?
There is going to be so much stuff happening in July of 2026 that it's really hard to say, let's have an event. There's gonna be so much going on.
Hmm.
I know Parks and Rec has their own calendar that they're doing.
Mm,
Maria has access to that, so she'll bring that information, but they're going to do what they do in the summer. There's gonna be a lot of stuff going on. And to speak to your question about speakers are gonna be tough to come by for this year. I mean, for Revolutionary War topics, it's gonna be tough. Cause everybody's gonna want them. Everybody.
I went to the Gettysburg gun. What do they call it? They commission the gun? No, commemorate the gun at East Greenwich Armory. I forget the name of that armory.
is it
Barnum.
Barnum?
Barnum.
Yeah, and there were all kinds of Revolutionary War reenactors there. They actually, it's like the first artillery division or something. They're the ones that were firing that gun at Gettysburg. And there was an author there that wrote a book about the Gettysburg gun and in great detail. Like one guy got his shoulder blown off. I mean, he had all that stuff.
People
But-
buried in the cemetery, then only half of them is buried because they couldn't find the
Yeah.
other half of them. It was
Yeah.
kind of gross things.
But it was so interesting because these guys really take it seriously. It's actually the first, they're still the first artillery. They had all of the period uniforms. They were doing all of the various things that they do with the flags and the call outs and the 10 hut and all that stuff, you know. And
They take it very seriously.
but it was very good. It was a really good presentation.
What's the group out of
Lebanon,
well, Lebanon Militia,
Yeah.
they're very good. They're out of Connecticut.
Kingston.
The Kingston Reds is
Yeah.
Albert Nathaniel Green. I
Yeah.
mean, they're everywhere.
Mhm.
I do like the Lebanon Militia because when they come out, they don't have just soldiers. They do have soldiers. They have the fife and drum
Hmm.
kids, but they also have the craftsmen. So they have the leather worker
Oh,
and the
that's
broom
cool.
maker and
I enjoyed that when I
That-
went to
I'd like
that
to
one,
do
the
that.
last one.
that is.
So the
they're
Gettysburg
probably
gun,
gonna come to.
It still has the cannonball stuck in the muzzle
Mhm.
because it
Mm.
it cooled and
Is that the one at the State House?
it was at the State House for years, 20 years, I think they said, but now it's back at the Barnum. It's in
God,
the-
it was back.
Yeah,
I used
right
to
there.
have a whole portion on that when I was a tour guide at the State House.
Oh, did you?
Amazing. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, yeah.
cool. So you know about
Yeah,
it.
about that. They for the longest time, sorry, I'm gonna go on a tear now. For the longest time, that was actually loaded in the State House. It still had black gunpowder in it.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
So you know, imagine this is like the 50s, so you have a bunch of senators and
Mhm.
just smoking around it, you know, having cigar right by the loaded
Yeah, the charge
cannon.
was still in it. The
Charge
bag
was
of
still in
black
it,
powder.
and as you pointed out, the ball's in it. So you can imagine if that went off,
Massive shrapnel, right?
not fun. So they figured that out and they took it to a National Guard place. I'm gonna forget where. They submerged the entire
Yeah.
thing in water, drilled it, and then all the black gunpowder came
Yeah.
out. So pretty.
But imagine
Pretty
it was sitting, that powder was sitting in there for 100 plus, couple of 100 years, right?
Yep. No idea. Somebody said, You think
Another
it's
couple
all
hundred.
loaded? Because that's
Yeah,
how it got stuck. They were
Yeah.
trying to reload it,
Yeah,
and
put the
from the
powder in
previous
first.
charge, the muzzle warped and it got stuck. So you got
Yeah.
to think you have to load in the powder first, then
Mhm.
the ball. The ball got stuck.
yeah, that's when the guy got shot.
Thing would have
Have your
exploded.
Yeah.
Not fun. Yeah. So
It
glad
would have made a
somebody
statement.
said,
Yeah,
hey, wait a
if you
minute.
want that
I
statement.
know.
Anyway, so that's
Uh,
where we sit on the
Okay.
250th celebration ideas. If anyone has any ideas they'd like to bring up and
Mhm.
can't come to the meeting, let me know. I'm happy to voice them for you. But I would strongly suggest anyone who can come to come.
And that's Ninth?
Or the 9th is the art contest one.
the one you're talking about, was February.
The February one, but I mean, you guys are welcome to come to either one of them. It's not a. I know the one in this month is during the day, so if you work, you kind of feel like you do that. Unless you're off that day.
I'd have to play hooky.
Yeah, I'm not
Mm.
telling. I'm not
If I
telling.
was gonna play hooky, I'd play hooky for something better than
The library meeting about art contest? Okay, I
Kids art?
downloaded the whole.
Do you have kids?
I don't.
No?
Mhm.
I remember my kids had the art up on the refrigerator and stuff, and it was like, what's that so beautiful? It's like,
You'd be amazed at what some of these kids can draw.
yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
Some of them are just amazingly
Yeah.
talented.
My son actually became an artist, though. He went to Rhode Island School of Design and
Oh.
now he does art.
Hmm.
So,
So-
okay.
So
Next,
that brings us right up to the end, I would say. So staffing changes in 2026. So you saw by email with the materials for the meeting that I said that yes, this is actually my last day, like right now. So as soon as this is done, that's my final act,
You're
basically.
straight, huh?
Yeah,
You already clean out your office?
So
All your knickknacks and stuff are out of there?
I am working on it right
Okay.
now. I do actually,
it
there is
to
a
me.
half a donut cake up front for anybody who would like to partake. But anyway,
Oh, is that what they gave you that for your last day?
yeah, apparently so. So,
That's nice.
the I understand that the next staffer is going to be, his name is Paul, I think that he pronounces it Gouvernement. He was previously working with the Pawtucket Foundation, and I think he worked with either interned or worked with the planning department in Pawtucket. And so I've been told that he has an interest and some level of experience, at least, with historic stuff. And so he seemed to be the right fit. So,
Can you spell the name, please?
yeah, Guevremont.
Was that a Z or a V?
V.
V is in Victor.
So he, I think, is supposed to come aboard on the 15th, or at least somewhere in the week of the 15th. So I would imagine that he would be here for the next meeting, which is the 8th, because of New Year's Day.
And he's a planner? He's gonna be the
Yep,
planner?
he's going to be, planning tech, I believe. My coworker, the current planning tech, Josh Chase, is going to be the new principal planner.
Oh, okay.
So Josh has taken your position and then
Mhm.
he's taken Josh's position.
Mhm.
Okay, makes sense.
So either way, I trust you'll be in good, historic, friendly hands.
If not, we know how to find you.
True enough. As I keep saying, I'm only a half an hour down the highway.
So you're going to be working on your rail historic project?
And the current, rail planning stuff that the state is engaged in, at least
So-
from a, like advocacy.
Did you get a state job doing it?
No, it's
Oh,
like
you?
advocacy standpoint stuff.
Oh,
So
so is there a way that we can monitor your work? Is there a website or do you have social media or something so we can
the
keep up with you?
yeah, it's to the extent that I work with like local people in Westerly. There's a site, Westerly Rail Advocates with an S.com. But yeah, I try to do more, even statewide type things. The group that I'm involved with more for the state thing is the Rhode Island Association of Railroad Passengers. Their website is heinously dated. I have begged and pleaded over and over, we need something 21st century. Cart before the horse. There's so many plans going on all at once. We keep having to participate in those.
Oh,
So anyway, it's an exciting time for that, and this is the time for it. The start, this is like all the planets align at once. So
mhm.
got to
Please,
take advantage of the moment.
please I'll
Um,
probably be dead and buried before they get any major rail lines in, but.
oh, you never know. Well, it helps that we have the tracks exist, you know. It's a matter of
Yeah,
muster the
one
will
in
and funds.
Coventry that they pulled up to make a
Wow.
walk path for.
Yes. That might be
That's a
tougher.
sore.
I heard something in the news
Wait.
recently where they're gonna be working on rail lines, throughout the state now.
Hmm.
I don't think, I don't know if it dovetails with what you're doing, but this is like a modern commuter rail
Mhm.
that they're trying to build.
There's,
in Rhode
they're
Island.
doing, like, the state rail plan is being developed right now, and they're looking at how would a statewide system be built out.
Mhm.
So, yeah, it's one example of like one of the things that I'll be following, you know, trying to
Jump off
influence
the
her.
train, go to New York City
I
for the
know.
weekend.
Well, that's the thing. I know there's a lot that can be done. We have
My daughter's
really good
from
assets to start with,
Providence
so
all the time to do that.
that's a big part of that. But also, yeah, I'm gonna take this opportunity to finish my book, come hell or high water. I'm finishing the book, you know, and I will not. You could tell me, oh, here's the job offer to be Emperor of the Universe. I'm finishing the book.
Is your book about historical aspects of the?
Yeah, it's-
of the-
It's the history mainly of like the Westerly train station, but it's also how did
specifically
it?
Westerly? Okay.
Yep, that's half of how I got started with it. It was wanted to write something about commuter rail for Westerly. Thought, oh, it needs a history section to start with. Then the history section spiraled into its own book, and then the commuter rail stuff spiraled into all this. So
Did you ever see the collections of the magazines or the newspapers
no,
that,
I never got to
that
see it.
Norma, that they had at the,
Yeah.
Summit
the
Library.
Summit Library, whatever
There was a whole
came
room
of,
of boxes
I know.
full of that
came
stuff.
of those,
I haven't
those
heard anything
books.
since
Are those boxes?
Maria said we'll take a drive out there sometime, and I forgot to.
Are they,
Ever pick a date.
did they get left there
I
with
think
the
so.
filing cabinet?
We didn't take them.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they were just there for the taking.
I mean, I think they were in decent shape
Yeah.
where you could, you could look at them and maybe you would have some value in
Maybe I should
using them. You should.
email, yeah, Maria.
That might
see
be
if-
important. You might be, cause there were boxes and boxes.
They sell that, have they sold that building yet?
I don't think so. I
Well-
didn't hear that they did.
No, but that guy is buying it, right? He's
Yeah.
gonna turn it into a bicycle
So
museum.
before it gets tossed out,
Yeah.
that hasn't already.
I'll have to reach out and ask, I know.
That because like, no, we've all thought,
And if they
we're
were
trying
gonna
to think about who would be interested in this stuff, and so we
Yeah.
know, so that the stuff is just sitting there,
Yeah,
but
if it was gonna get tossed anyway, might as well look.
you
Yeah.
might as well look at
I
it.
didn't know you were into the train thing when I saw that stuff at the Summit Library,
Hmm.
or I might have said something earlier.
Right. I
For
did-
me, it's really, I consider it to be a very long, diversion. Like really, it's the planning at the end of the day is what I really love, but it's, you know, transportation modes can be engines for, innovations in planning.
Mhm.
Pawtucket's a great example in Central Falls. So it took a very, multiple years diversion to learn how does that work so that I could understand, what's realistic, what can be done with what we've got, both in Westerly, and then you learn enough you can apply it to the rest of the state.
Mhm.
So it's going to be, I think, a good stretch. It's,
So
You know.
someday you might be the Rhode Island Rail Czar.
yeah, who knows? We're all in trouble if that day comes.
No, at
But-
least we'll have rail.
Yeah.
Yeah, huh?
But in any case, I do trust you'll be in good hands, but I will say, at least from my own side, as I have said a few times already, it has been nothing short of a pleasure getting to work with you guys and getting to see the progress you have made,
Yeah.
the road ahead.
We've had a lot of, advancement. with
Yeah.
your
Yeah.
help.
There's,
Sure.
and I think there is a lot of room for optimism. There's certainly time left in the trenches to build up and decide, what is, what is each next step gonna be?
Mhm.
But keep your mind open, never be afraid to keep talking to people. Not that I had tons of wisdom to impart, but I would just say, at least even with my own stuff, I mean, I started with just saying, well, no one's gonna care if I don't care, so let me just see what I can do. And it can take some time,
Mhm.
but you can get somewhere. So,
Sometimes you gotta plant the seed and then leave it alone until it starts to grow.
and just keep your eyes open the whole
Keep your
time. You
eyes
never know who you're gonna run into.
Particular activating.
So in any case, there's donut cake if people want it. I think
Well,
Bring it down.
I've been eating so many sweets lately.
I understand. Yeah, Thanksgiving just
Will I make a motion to adjourn?
Oh, yeah.
that's important.
So do we have a motion?
I'll take and make a motion, blah, blah, blah.
Second?
I'll make a motion. I'll second that motion, I should say,
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
and the time is 7:21.
And we are adjourned.
Last meeting of 2025.